Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Got a big one for you today. We are taking a look at DX King Caucasus Kabuto from Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. But this guy is huge. As you can probably tell, the box doesn't even fit in frame all at the same time. But this guy's got a castle mode, a robot mode, a tank mode, all on his own. But he's also able to combine with Extreme King Oger to form God King Oger. So we got a lot to go through in this video here. He also comes with Hercules Axe, which is another in the Guardian Weapons series. So the front of the packaging here, we got a nice big product shot of the robot mode. And then I think this is kind of showing a silhouette kind of in the background of God King Oger. So very, very cool on the packaging here. Gonna try and show this off, but you know, it doesn't really fit all that great. But again, there is God King Oger there on top. Down here, we have a picture of the castle mode. You can kind of position the other shoe gods around, which is pretty cool. Over here on this side, just kind of a big shot of the robot mode. And then over here, we have some warnings and stuff, and it's showing off those stones that they sell and like the candy toy and gashapon, things like that. Here on the back, again, we have the castle mode, we have the tank mode, and then in all its glory, we have God King Oger, which is a giant combination of all 20 of the things that we have so far. It is quite a cluster. It is quite a mess. I'll do my best to show you how this goes together, but it's going to be difficult because one, it's so big, and two, I tried to do it once so far, and just every 10 seconds something has fallen off. And the way, well, we'll get into it later, but it's not super structurally sound, at least not as much as I'd like it to be, but we'll get there. So that's going to do it here for the box. It is quite a massive box. I'm going to go ahead and get all the pieces out, and then I'll show you how to put this together. So here are all the components straight out of the box. We have these two kind of torso pieces that have the arms attached. We have these two leg components. We have this section here, which is going to become part of the chest. We have these two pincer components. We have this large horn piece, and then we have these two pieces which are going to make up Hercules Axe. So it's very simple. You just go ahead and connect this piece right on here. And yeah, that's it. Here he is, Hercules Axe. Pretty basic, not really much going on with him. Doesn't even really have legs. He kind of has tiny little legs molded on here, as you can see. But yeah, you know, just a little beetle friend. Transforming him into the axe is very simple. You just open these pieces up, and then you just rotate this 90 degrees. And there you go. You have the axe mode. So pretty cool. I'm going to transform him back, and we'll put him off to the side. But yeah, he's pretty basic, but he's cool. I like him. So first up, I guess we'll do the castle configuration. Now you're going to basically get to the robot configuration doing the castle configuration, but this is the directions order, so we'll just go with the castle first. We're going to take these two components. Let me move this stuff back. You can see here that there's kind of a tab section, and then there's a spot here so that when you put these in, that'll feed into that. And then you just kind of snap these pieces together like so. You can see there's some really nice chrome here on the front. I like that quite a bit, to have the King Oger symbol there. Some really nice gold paint as well. Then we're going to take these leg components, and they have a little spot here that flips out like so. And then we are going to connect this onto here. Do the same with this side. So as you can see, you know, the robot mode is kind of already taking shape here. But you can see that the hands have these connector pieces here on the back. So what we're going to do, we are going to take this and rotate this around like so, and then rotate this down. And then we're going to take this section and rotate it like that, so that this connector is pointing down. We're going to do the same thing here with the other arm. Rotate that down, and then rotate this at what will be kind of the bicep cut. Then we're going to take this. You can see there's a little connector right here. That's going to come up and connect into this. So this is just going to come up here and snap in. And then do the same thing over here and snap in. And at this point, we're very close to finishing the castle mode. Let me get all the other pieces out of the way. We are going to flip this around we're going to take this piece here, which has a connector right there, and that is going to connect here in the center, right there. So just drop this whole piece down, and that just kind of snaps into place right there. At this point, we're going to take the horn piece, and we're going to take these pieces, and they'll connect onto these pieces on the side. So this is a little weird. You can see that there's a cutout right there. And sometimes it's a little finicky, but you have to just kind of pop this on here like that. Let me make sure I'm facing this. Yes, this is facing the correct way. So then drop this down like that. And then this is going to plug in to this connection right there in the center. So that's going to drop down like that. And there we have our castle mode, which looks really cool. And the directions, or I should say the box really, shows you kind of pegging. They have all these peg spots here. So you should be able to peg this on here. And I guess he would peg on like this. So he's going to go sideways. But basically you can situate all of the shoe gods on the castle like we see in the show. And you can just kind of pop them around wherever you want. But that's basically the castle mode. I think it looks pretty cool. Very simplistic. It's really just kind of the robot mode doing a squat with his hands pegged into the side of his legs. But yeah, there is our castle mode. Next up, we're going to go into the tank mode, which is very, very simple to do. We're going to unpeg the arms and just bring these up. Now, you'll probably have to click this forward only because these pieces here otherwise will hit into this. So you want to kind of click it forward. So unhook this, bring it up, push back one, push that up. Then we're going to take the legs and we're going to kind of bring these down as we pop these up. And there's a little connector right here, which is going to connect into this spot right here, if you can see that. So this is just going to come up and connect right there like that. It's a very, very simple transformation. And then boom, we are into the tank mode. It's that simple. There's really not much else to it. I like it though. I think it's cool. It definitely gives me like kind of like a tank tread vibe. Honestly, you know what it reminds me of? The Thunder Tank. Especially the Thunder Tank from the 2011 cartoon, because it's got that same kind of bulk to it. It's got the, you know, the hand kind of claws here in the front. I love the horn here, which is also kind of doubling as a cannon. I think this looks really cool. It's a very simple transformation, but I really like it a lot. And you can see that there are treads down here. I think this is great. So it's a very simple transformation, but there we go. There is the tank mode. Going from the tank mode to the robot mode is also pretty simple. We're going to start by unhooking the legs, and then we're going to just bring these all the way down like this. So unhook and then rotate these down. And you can hear the really nice ratchets. I'll go through the articulation once we're done in robot mode, but really nice solid ratchets all the way around. Now the other thing they want you to do is take the feet and just push them to the side. You don't have to, I guess technically. You could just leave it like this if you like that look better. But they want you to just kind of click it out to the side. It's not really an ankle tilt. It's just kind of, I guess, a way to differentiate the feet from the other modes. Yeah, so click the feet out to the side. Come down here, rotate the arms down, and then you're going to rotate them at the bicep 180 degrees. So bring this down, rotate at that bicep 180 degrees, bring that down, and then if we move this up here, we're going to disconnect these pieces from the side, and we're going to actually come over here and click them onto the side of the shoulder. It's a very similar connection port. Oh, you know what? I have it on backwards, though. We want the gold side to face forward. So pop that on. I don't know why. For some reason, I always have more trouble connecting it to the shoulder than I do to the head. I don't really know why. So we'll go ahead and clip that on. And then the last step is to just slide this piece up and reveal the face. And there we go. So here we have the robot mode. Now this has a lot of nice articulation, honestly. We have a hinge out here for the shoulder. You also have a rotation forward. Then you have this rotation at the bicep that we talked about previously. You also have a rotation at the fist. Down here, we've already seen these joints kick really far out to the side. Unfortunately, he can't kick forward. And this looks like it should be a bicep or like a thigh cut, but it doesn't really work that way. So you have this like weird articulation here, but he doesn't have knees, which is a bummer. But honestly, he's got a lot of nice arm articulation here. I kind of wish he had elbows, and I kind of wish he had knees. But for the most part, I think the robot mode's pretty cool. And I also forgot we have to bring the axe back in. So flip this out, rotate this, and then this just pegs very easily into his fist. And there we go. Really nice, clean robot mode. I guess technically if you want, you could open these up like as wings. That's an option. If you want to kind of have him flying around, you can pretend that he's got wings there. Otherwise, they just kind of fold back in. But I mean, really nice chrome here on the back. Nice gold paint. The horn is just absolutely ridiculously tall. Like if we go all the way up here, you can see just how tall. That's a ridiculously tall horn. But he looks cool. I really like him quite a bit. I think the robot mode looks great. And I love how easy it is to go from the castle to the tank to the robot mode. It's very simple to do. So it's a really nice transformation. I think all three modes are great. Robot, probably my favorite. Tank's a very close second. The castle mode's fine. But I just think this looks really, really great. Now, just for a size comparison, here is... Let me get this giant monstrosity. Here is Extreme King Oger, which we'll be combining with in a moment. So I would say they're about the same size. I mean, with everything attached, even with Spider Kumonos's legs. I'm sorry, God Tarantula's legs. You know, because the horn's so huge. They're about the same size. The combination is going to be... when we get there, we'll get there soon. But it's so huge and so massive. And his hips don't like it. We'll just say that, but we'll get there in a moment. But yeah, they're about the same size. Let me see if I can pull this back a little bit. Everything's so big, it's very difficult to get everything in frame. But here are the two together. They look cool. I really like it. A lot of nice chrome between the two. I love this guy as the package because he's got a nice height to him. 3 modes. They're all very easy to transform. Nice joints, really nice ratchets everywhere. I just kind of wish he had elbows and I wish he had knees, but not a big deal. I think the reason he doesn't is because of the stability he needs to provide in the combined mode. And I guess I didn't really do like a close-up of the face. Let me see if I can get that going here. It's kind of hard to see it, quite honestly. But he's got a nice silver painted face and then the red eyes. So it's very tiny. It's very tiny, especially in comparison to everything else. So it's kind of hard to zoom in. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the craziness that is the combination. All right, we'll start off by dissecting this guy. So I'm going to go ahead, take this off. You will take these two pieces apart and set them off to the side. You're actually going to disconnect the arms up here. So those are going to pop off like that. You're also going to take these pieces off. You're going to take this piece off. And then you're going to pop him apart like so. So, how each of these work. Basically, almost the entire bulk of the robot becomes the shoes for the combined form. So, how this works, this has to come up like this, I believe. This comes up like this, and this is going to become one of the shoes. So, we have to take the arm piece, and I believe this clips on the side like that. Then we're going to take this, lift this up, bring this up like this, and then take the other arm piece and pop this here on the side like that. So that's going to be the shoes. We're going to pop this off. This is going to flip around like this. Right, and then this goes, yeah, so that this can go like that. And then the head is going to pop onto this piece. Hold on. This goes down, close the fist. The fist? That's the face. Yeah, this clips on like this. and we're going to rotate it later. You'll see how that works. So we're going to pop these pieces on here. Make sure that's on correctly. And the directions have you kind of do this in steps, but I just like to get all these pieces together first. We'll do the head reveal as the last thing just for fun. But that's basically how this is going to go. So now that we have our two giant shoes... Alright, so we have to bring in Kamakiri and Hachi from King Oger. We are going to peg this into here. Come along. There we go. Then as we bring this down, this little spot right here will peg into the foot. So this kind of comes down, and then that snaps in. So this is kind of your new foot for the new God King Oger. So this clips in, this comes down, this will clip onto that. So there you go. So that is really nice and secure. I like that. I like how that works. It gives you nice giant shoes for this guy. So this next part is where it's going to get interesting. So we have our shoes set up, and you can see here that we have this tiny little space. I don't know how well you can see that right in here. And that's going to be used for a stability element that in my mind is a little questionable, but let's get into it. So bringing in the colossal beast that is the rest of Extreme King Oger, these are now going to peg into these new spots up here. So this is going to drop in like so, and then this is going to drop in the other one. And then what they tell you to do is take these pieces and put them in those little channels that I just talked about. So this is supposed to like pop in here, and I still don't even really understand what they mean, but this is supposed to kind of line up in these little grooves and act as a stability thing. I really wish there was a way that clipped in, because in my mind, that is not crazy stable. I've tried to look at it. I don't really see like a better way, and maybe I'm not, like maybe they're supposed to sink in deeper. I've tried to kind of look at this, but I also don't know how like to bend this more. Maybe I can bend this more this way. And it just kind of ends up twisting King Oger's like hips, which is not great. So we'll try to go with that. It's a little weird. Like I said, I really wish there was something that snapped in. The feet, like the Kamakiri and Hachi, snap in so wonderfully. And then to just have these like sit in there for stability is kind of weird. And I just knocked off Tombo and Papillon, but we'll get back to that. So yeah, so these are the giant shoes. And honestly, at this point, we're kind of most of the way there. I have to reposition the camera. But yeah, so we'll get this back where this goes, and we'll finish off the rest. There's not too much more to do. This is kind of half the battle here with the shoes. So let me reposition the camera. All right, so we have to do a little bit of deconstructing. This section here is going to come off completely. So the hopper piece and the spider piece needs to come off. And then this spider piece also needs to come off. And then you need to take the whole head piece off as well. So this needs to... And it's a little easier said than done, quite honestly. There we go. Okay, so now that's off of there. We're also going to have to lift up God Tarantula's legs. So these go up. These also, these little side legs go up, and then they want you to splay them out. Like so. So I did this on purpose, actually, because we do need to take these off. Are you buying that? Anyway, this little crown piece is going to come off of here. This is going to go back into the full Papillon configuration here, so we can flip these pieces to the side. This is going to clip back into this. Why aren't you doing it? Am I doing it backward? No, this has to be like this, right? There it goes. Okay. So that's connected back in. Then we can take this, and I believe this clips onto the back piece like so. No? How did I do this? We'll come back to this piece. This just hangs on the back anyway. It's not super exciting. We're going to take the axe piece, and we are going to clip the spider here on the front. And then this is going to go on here, so it's kind of like a new waist piece. So that clips on there like that. Then we can go ahead and put this back. It's just that you can't get to the under piece until you take this piece off first. Come along. Am I doing something wrong? I don't think so. This is supposed to go back on here. Come on, go back on. There we go. Just some clearance issues and things. It's not a big deal. So, we can put this crown back on the God Tarantula piece. Back where this goes. There we go. Put that off to the side. So, the next part is to add on all of the little, like, side guardian weapon pieces. So you're going to take Cicada and kind of just swing the wings up here like this, and then this is going to clip on to the front, or is it the side? It might be the side. I guess it doesn't really matter, however you'd like to clip it on. But this is going to clip onto the side of God Tarantula's leg like that. You're going to take the chainsaw, and I've got all these pieces tangled up. So we have the chainsaw, which you put in the chainsaw configuration, and then this is going to clip onto the other leg. I guess it doesn't really matter how we do it, but this will clip on over here like that. Then we're going to come down to the arm pieces. So if we spin this around ever so slightly, you have the arms of God Tarantula in the robot mode, and you're going to peg in these other pieces. So we're going to take the Gatling gun, and that will peg on the back like that. And then you're going to take the chain and peg that on there. So that giant spiked ball just hangs off there on the side. Then we're going to rotate this back around, and we're going to take the tarantula piece and pop that into his fist. And there's some clearance issues here with Kabuto. There we go. And I feel like I'm missing one, but I guess I'm not. Is there another guardian weapon? No, because I have them up there. Okay, I guess that's everybody. For some reason, I thought there was another piece. So we'll try to spin around to the back here and reattach. That's right. This clips on here like this, like the normal Dragonfly transformation. And then this clips on... Oh, this piece here. No, I did have... That's how I had that. I'm missing something. I thought there was a spot up here that it clipped onto, but now I don't see it. Oh, it's this. Is it this piece? No, that's not going to fit. This clipped on here somehow, and now I forget how this went. But this is supposed to go on the back here. Well, how did I do this? Can this rotate? No. They're both in like the wrong configuration. Well, whatever. We're gonna... I'm definitely missing something, and you can feel free to yell at me in the comments because I forget how this is supposed to go, but I had this on here earlier, and I don't know why it's not clipping on now. But theoretically, it's supposed to clip on like that. Well, whatever. I'm going to put it off to the side because it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. Let's spin around to the front, and let's go ahead and drop the head piece on. So we're going to take this large head piece that we had from before, And we're going to use this connection here to clip on to where the butterfly was connected earlier. Eesh, that's not connected in. Okay, the head popped off. That's fine. Then we're going to open these pieces like that. And then for the last step, we're going to turn the entire head around. And of course, these are going to break off. But if you do this, it will reveal the head inside. And then I can pop this piece back on. I should have thought about clearance issues. This whole thing's issue is clearance issues because there's so much. There's so much attached on here. And then the absolute last step is to take the last piece of Hercules beetle and peg that on like this, right? Like that. No, I guess it is like this. It just covers so much of his face, I thought that was wrong. But there we go. So it's kind of impossible to see his face because it's so sunken in there and there's so much going on. But yeah, I'll try to come back in and get a picture of the face. But this is it. This is the giant, massive cluster that everyone asked for. And it certainly is that. It's almost indistinguishable what's going on because there's so much connected here. It's fun that you can connect everything on. And I swear Papillon goes on here somehow and I'm just missing it. I'll try to figure it out. But yeah, this is him. This is the giant god King Oger. There's a lot going on. I mean, here's the thing. I wasn't the hugest fan of Extreme King Oger because I didn't really like just jamming the spider on his back. And I feel like with this, they've just jammed more stuff on his back. Like, Spider's still there, but now he's, you know, got these guys jammed on there. And then we have, like, the chain just hanging on the back. The Gatling gun's attached in the back. You can't even see it. You know, there's just a lot going on here. What I would probably like a lot more, and I might try to do this, just do King Oger with King Caucasus Kabuto. I think that might be a more fun combination because then you could actually enjoy some of this stuff. Now, granted, you wouldn't have as much gold chrome, but it would be a much kind of simpler but tighter looking combination because this just has so much stuff just jammed on his back just as a place to put things. I really don't see him utilizing any of this stuff in combat because he'd have to kind of like flail his back around and hope that that spiked ball hits something. I mean, it's just kind of silly. But we've always said we want a giant cluster where every single thing is connected. Be careful what you wish for. There are 20 bugs all glommed on together. And this is the giant monstrosity. Okay, so I finally figured this out and I wanted to show it off. Basically, you just form the complete sword configuration, and then that connects to this little spot on the back of the dragonfly. So this is just the complete sword configuration, and then using this, you pop it onto this little spot right here, which is going to be pretty hard to do one-handed, but that's where that goes. And so this kind of sits up, and it's just another thing to jam onto the back of this. I also kind of wanted to come in here with some light, so that you could kind of see the face. It's just King Oger's face. There's nothing really new, but it's just hidden inside this piece. And then it's got all the horns and everything. So just the way the horn connects on the front really obscures it. But I wanted to come in here with some light so that you could see it. I like this guy a lot, but I think I like him better on his own. I really like the robot mode here. The tank mode's also really cool. Castle mode, probably my least favorite out of the three, but I still like it. Really nice chrome, good paint, nice articulation, just a nice, simple, large robot, and I think he's really, really cool. The combination with Extreme King Oger to form God King Oger, it's neat, but it's such a giant cluster that any articulation this guy had in this mode is just completely lost. There's just really nothing you can do with that except to sit it somewhere and say, look, I took, 20 robots and I put them all together. And that's cool, but it's quite a bit to get it all formed together. And then, like I said, you can't really do much with it afterwards. So I think I'm just going to have this guy like this in the normal robot mode. I really like the look of this quite a bit. And yeah, I just think they did a really nice job with this. And I love him on his own. The fact that he can combine with the others is cool, but not my favorite feature. I think he's just kind of a great standalone giant beetle robot, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then if you want to put the effort in to do the giant combination, it's always there. So I definitely recommend picking this guy up, especially if you've been collecting everything. But even if you haven't, it's still just a fun, transformable, standalone robot. I do wish he had elbows. I wish he had knees. But I understand why. I think that giant combination requires those pieces to just be a little bit more solid. I mean, technically he could have elbows because the giant transformation just has those like connect to the side. So they're not really doing anything. But I feel like, you know, the knees would probably buckle when you had this thing all connected, because this whole section becomes like the shoes, which is the major stability point for God King Oger. But that's just my guess. In any case, I think this guy's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking him out. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.